Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Sunday's Talking Town. It's 1 minute past one. There's no game to discuss because obviously it's international weekend, but we are here with our first mini pod, if you like, of the season. We'll do these mini pods when the international breaks come up and there's a weekend missing. So if you ever want a topic discussed on the mini pod, because it's open to anybody, the agenda is empty. So if you ever got anything you want to add on or come on and say, then please do let us know, and I'll advertise it as we lead up to obviously the next mini pod. But we are a mini pod. Welcome in, like, subscribe, all of that wonderful business. If you're watching on catch up, hello. Hope your Sunday was fantastic. Don't forget to comment for the algorithm, FTA. But looking forward to discussing some international football with you, some Ipswich Town football with you, and of course getting your absolutely beautiful comments. So do get active in our live chat if you're watching this afternoon. Sharon says, nice to see you, Martin. Nice to see you too. My webcam is a bit fuzzy today. It's taken the international weekend off, clearly. We'll sort it for next week. Don't worry, friends. Before we get started, don't forget we are partnered with Match Bingo. Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. It's the international break, but obviously the Premier League resumes again next week. So upgrade your viewing. Look, honestly, if you've never watched a game while wanting someone to hit the post in the 81st minute, and particularly the 81st minute or a minute that ends in 1, then you've not lived. No, seriously, I do quite enjoy it. But Play Match Bingo, win cash prizes. You download via your app store or wherever you get your applications on your phone. Over 18s only. Be gamble aware. But yeah, seriously, sitting there 81st minute, you're thinking, come on, please, someone hit the post, and it goes up for a throw. You know, so there goes my bingo card. We've got Mike in. We've got loads of people coming in for an international weekend. Love to see how busy this chat is. So thank you very much for joining us. Virtual high fives all around. And joining me this afternoon is the one, the only, Mr. Matthew Phillips. How you doing?
Good, thanks. I'm in better condition than you. You couldn't stop yawning before we came on air, which is not unusual, everyone, when I'm talking to Martin. He does yawn quite often, but maybe more often than normal.
You don't stop yawning, then your human reaction now is, I'm now suppressing a yawn, which is really difficult.
Me too. There's people watching this show feeling the need to yawn, right?
That happens all the time anyway. People yawn away. But no, I couldn't sleep a wink last night. I'm now so tired, I feel sick. Did you ever get to that point where you get so tired you just like feel sick?
Transatlantic flight or something. That's when that kind of kicks in. I was interested to see you use the term mini pod. So what's the length of a mini pod? Because this is Talking Town, right? Our pods are normally like an hour and a half or something daft. But what's a mini pod in our world?
You know me, after 4 years, I don't put a time limit on it, because every time I put a time limit on it, we smash it and we exceed it. So I've got one in my mind, and we'll see how close we can get it. But you know, I couldn't sleep last night. I'll tell people at home why I couldn't sleep, because the NFL, yes, it started on Thursday. It had a game on Friday. The Packers lost. But the Bears play today. The NFL is back, and I am like a kid in a sweet shop, Matt. I absolutely crave American football. I was watching the college football last night. I got called certain names in the WhatsApp group for watching the college football last night. You know, nerd, things like that. I mean, how rude. I love American football. What can I say?
I'm pleased. I'm pleased for you that it's back and you can enjoy it. It's good. It's all good.
Oh, buzzing. And the Bears, hopefully, touch wood, are supposed to be good again this year.
Good now.
Yeah, I told Mrs. L, and she said, it's about time, isn't it? And it is about time.
This is the beauty of American sports. We've touched on this before, isn't it? Whether it be like baseball, which is one I'm into more. Well, I do watch NFL, as you know. But it goes in cycles, doesn't it? So you don't get the domination, other than the Kansas City Chiefs are looking to win it 3 times on the trot. Three-peat. But very rarely does that happen. And you always kind of get different winners, don't you? Which obviously we don't get in British sports because, you know, it's Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. Traditionally, Chelsea.
We've got a savior now, Matt. We've got Caleb Williams, the savior of the Bears. He's the first 4,000-yard pass, which, if you don't like American football, you don't understand what that means. But basically, it means the Bears have never had a quarterback that's been any good, effectively, or certainly not in my lifetime.
You've got good players now, effectively.
We're okay. We're okay.
Like the town.
And bringing it back round, we were talking before we came live on air. there's now a whole host of international players in this squad. Like, we're not used to the number. We were going through the players. Oh, Kahus got minutes, or Muric got minutes, Axel got minutes, and it was a huge list of international players. This, we're not. I'm not used to it. Certainly, in my lifetime.
Do you remember we used to be reliant on Greg Lee getting a Jamaica call up for the game to get called off in League One?
Yeah, which never came.
Yeah, that was the Barnsley one, wasn't it? Is that
the Barnsley one? Yeah, worked in our favour, but that strangely never came. That call up, did it?
It never came, and then we had your greatest moment in your bird-ridden coat at Oakwell.
Yes, good. Yeah, good memories. Very good times. Yeah, great times. It's actually lots of NFL. I didn't realise how many NFL fans we've got in our chat. We've got Chris to Go Bears with an actual call. Yes, Chris, love this. Titans win, says Graham. You can leave. You can leave. He's a Titans.
That's one of the new teams, isn't it? Titans. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, if you like rock and roll,
yeah,
Nashville. Nashville, Tennessee. I've never really been that genre of music never really spoken to me, so I've never really sort of been drawn to.
Never felt like you've wanted to go to Graceland, see Elvis's house.
Memphis. I was walking in Memphis. Oh, that's a tune.
That is a good tune.
That is a good tune.
I was once on the Jubilee line coming back from Wembley, and it was just me in the carriage, and a bloke got on with an acoustic guitar, stood in front of me.
Was it Brent?
Yeah. Played that tune, Walking in Memphis. I gave him a round of applause and a quid, and he got off at the next stop.
You gave him I
had to give him something. It was a great performance.
Yeah.
It would have been awkward. It would have been awkward, wouldn't it? Because there's a moment there where he's thinking, what cash can he give me? Impossible now because I don't carry cash. But back then.
No, but these buskers now carry card machines. They're not, like
they're half and half scarf guys.
You're not behind the times. Yeah. They've got the little stand set up with the card machine. You can tap your card. I'm like,
I've busked before. I've busked at St Pancras International as part of this Buskers Week thing. Yes, if you'd walked into St Pancras, regardless of where you were, you'd have heard my voice.
Oh, that's a lovely image.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for the line here. I'm waiting for it.
Don't worry, it's too obvious. It's far too obvious of a line. But talk about international players. Obviously, England, Ireland last night. Town had 3 players in the Irish team that got beat 2-0. I'll be honest with you. I'll level with those at home. Didn't see a minute of it. I was out with the family. It's international weekend, so I kind of checked out of football a little bit. Got back midway through the second half, and the college football was on, and I had a decision to make, friends. I made my choice, and I'm going to live with it, and I'm happy with it.
See, now you made a very good point about this. Why is there an international break as soon as the football season starts off the bat?
3 games in
of a major tournament.
This is it. So you've had the Euros and the Copa. So the whole summer's been football dominated. Then you've had the football season start with players still resting, by the way. Players still being sort of fed back into their life. Then you've got meaningless. And I know they're, whatever they call it now, Nations League, and it's not meaningless. It's still friendlies. It's still meaningless.
Apparently we're in the second tier of the Nations League.
We got relegated, didn't we? Because I know it's one of those moments, right, in time where you completely forget. But do you remember Southgate got beat by, was it Hungary, 4-0 at Molineux?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Everyone goes, oh, yeah. That actually happened.
Yeah.
Like, that's why we got relegated. We got relegated from the top tier. So Southgate got relegation on his CV with England, by the way.
He's not as good as we thought he was.
No major tournament win. Forget the semi-final. He's got a Nations League relegation.
Not the only relegation he had on his CV. Got Middlesbrough relegated. No, didn't he got the job. Lovely fella. I'm not saying nice fella.
So it's the first time, in 7 years that we'd played Ireland in Ireland? Is that right?
I don't know what the stat was. I don't think we'd won there for God knows how long.
No, that's true. But we did 2-0. But I want to talk about the 3 town players. I want you to tell me, and I want the chat to tell me, bring me back up to date, because I've seen the highlights, but highlights are highlights. 2 great goals, by the way, for England. But give me the scouting report. If you were seeing Mark Ashton tomorrow morning over a cup of coffee, this is what went down. How did OGben play? Because I hear he got man of the match. He did. He saw loads of the ball. See, I was in this quandary, really, being, it says on my birth certificate I'm English, therefore I should support England. But I didn't want to not support the boys. I couldn't work this out.
The blue and white.
We had a little bit of heat discussion, didn't we? At this, the WhatsApp discussion. Because I was like, hang on, can you not just want England to win, but the 3 lads to do well? Is that not applicable?
Yeah, that hadn't actually crossed my mind. That did. That was probably the reasonable solution to it. Yes. So OGben. So I very rarely now do I watch. I would listen. I will normally put on like a watch along. So I'll normally have like Goldbridge or somebody doing a watch along,
Really?
the commentary. Yeah,
Really?
it's better, isn't it? Get a fan's point of view. And he didn't really know who OGben was, and he was waxing lyrical about OGben. I think he tweets in the end and going, he's playing really well. And he did see lots of the ball. And it was brilliant to see, because like OGben suddenly arrives on this like mainstream stage. You know, he's got
Is he a hero of yours, Goldbridge?
Is he a hero of mine? I wouldn't say he's a hero of mine. There's only one hero, Martin, and that's you, obviously.
Oh, thank
in
you
the
very
podcasting world.
You're too kind. Thank you.
I like Goldbridge. He makes me laugh. He makes me laugh.
I couldn't resist that little question.
He lives practically next door to a good friend of mine.
Does
so they
he?
see each other on school trips, because his name's not Mark Goldbridge, is it? It's Brent de Cesar or something. It's just an alias, isn't it?
Is it? It's not actually called Goldbridge.
No, Brent de Cesar is his name. He's like English Italian. Yeah, I think he was a police. It's well documented. I'm not breaking news here. He was when he started that channel. He was a policeman, and he didn't want that. He didn't want his name out there because he wanted a divide between the two things. So he come up with this alias.
Which is what we've all done on here, and there's a very good reason why you do it. I can fully support clearly what the idea from someone. I've only ever seen Goldbridge in like 60-second clips. Like I was surprised he did longer than 60 seconds of content, because I've only ever seen it on TikTok where it comes up and he's calling goalkeepers vampires or whatever because he can't come for crosses and things like that.
I would generally do that, and it's I like the commentators and stuff. I don't really like the ITV commentary team. I mean, at halftime I'll listen to Keno and Ian Wright. I think that's good, but yeah, the actual commentary I'm not so keen on. So yeah, he was doing, and he was like, OGben was like a new name to him. I mean, again, he's part of this kind of podcasting world that really only deals with the top 5, top 6 in the Premier League. Anyone else under that is just sort of, outside of European football, is like, an unknown entity. So yeah, he was loving OGben, and he saw loads of the ball. Certainly, they played like a free up top island. So you had, I think it was that Adam Eder, who used to be Norwich, didn't they? I think he's Celtic now.
Celtic now, yeah.
Now, see, like, if Liam Delap just follows his dad and plays for Ireland, he'll get that number 9 role. Easy. He's better than him. He's better than Eder for me. And then he had Smodics on the left in that kind of, they played the 2 10s basically. So Smodics was on the left and OGben was on the right. But if you actually look at the heat maps, again, kind of Smodics defaults to play just behind the 9. And pushing much further forward on the right wing was OGben. He saw loads of the ball, and he did get man of the match in the stadium. The only question mark I've got, you did see a bit of the breaker pace. This was the most we'd seen of him, remember? Because we've only seen him in, what did he do against Fulham? An hour or so? And he got 45 against Wimbledon, didn't he? But he plays the whole 90, I think, against England yesterday.
Good minute.
So this was the most that we got to see him. The only question mark I've got over him is his crossing. He did put in one very good cross in the first half, which Eder should have done better with. But I don't know. I think that's a part of his game that they'll have to work on, I think, in terms of that delivery into the box. Now, of course, we'll have to work out whether or not that's where the most of our chance creation is going to come from, crosses in the box. We'll have to see how it pans out in the Premier League. But yeah, that's one thing that I think might just let him down. The delivery is a little bit hit and miss. But I mean, look how he's 27, 28 as well, isn't he, OGben? So I mean, hopefully he's not stuck in that mold where he can't improve that aspect of his game. And we've seen how McKenna and co have improved other players in the squad at the moment. So hopefully that's something they can work on. But he's got a great attitude. He wanted the ball, saw it loads. Ireland certainly played better in the second half. I think England sat back a little bit more. They gave England too much space in the first half. What was kind of prevalent for England was that Carsley played a much more open game for England, which is obviously what, you could say, like, it wasn't conservative particularly. It was a lot of quick passing. The pass to Trent to Gordon for the ball that goes in for the Declan Rice goal. That was a world-class pass right down the middle of the park. Ireland probably gave England too much space, to be honest. But as you said, like, what were the odds that Rice and Grealish both have worn Ireland green previously? So go.
Get both the goals.
Rice didn't celebrate. He did the old what Hamady did at
Grealish did though.
But Grealish ran to the fans, so he wasn't bothered, was he?
No. And there's always two camps of modern football fan that either are like, oh no, I love the the respect of not celebrating, or the ones that go, nah, you should go mad. You just scored a goal and blah blah blah.
Smodics had a chance first off. Actually, I think OGben squares the ball to him on the edge of the box, round kind of just to the left of the D.
Yeah.
And he kind of shoots across Pickford, and Pickford probably made a good save. I think Smolik said in his interview after, I should have done better with that chance. But yeah, they kind of say he was kind of on that left side, and he came centrally quite a lot. It felt like that wasn't quite his natural position, certainly not the position we've kind of seen him in at Town. He probably wants to remain a little bit more central. And Darlow O'Shea was in there as one of the starters.
What about Dara? Not seen him yet in
Dara?
Town colours. Saw him yesterday.
No.
What were your impressions of Dara O'Shea playing for Ireland against quality opposition? You know, it wasn't
against quality. I mean, look, he's only as good as the players around him, really. As like Goldbridge and a lot of other people were saying, you know, they're a mix of low-end Premier League and Championship players. Ireland is effectively what they are, so they have to kind of like rely on that kind of team spirit, really, to be competitive, I suppose. He did as well as anybody else, really. I mean, like I say, if you haven't seen the pass from Trent through to Gordon,
I've seen it. It's a great pass. Great.
I mean, that was like a proper. I mean, if you want the definition of a defence splitter.
And you saw in that moment a couple of things you never saw under Southgate, particularly in the Euros. You know, in terms of movement in behind the back line with Gordon, who got 10 minutes in the Euros, if that. In the end, he was at one sub appearance.
I think he's a little bit bitter about that. I mean, I don't know if it was in pre. I don't think it was like I don't think it was like maybe it was in the pre-game stuff or post-game. I can't remember now, but I think he was more welcoming to Carsley being the gaffer. Probably because he had him with the 21s or something, maybe. And I think it was just it felt like the shackles were off a little bit, and we kept saying that, didn't we, about Southgate? It seemed very conservative football to me. Certainly, we looked much better. The passing was quicker. There was a lot more movement, a lot more risk, I suppose. But then I suppose you're not playing Spain, are you? You're playing Ireland. And
that's the difference, isn't it?
And it's like Goldbridge kept saying, Carsley will get the job because they're playing in the next 6 games. Ireland twice, Greece twice, and Finland twice. They should win all 6.
And it's not tournament football where a defeat sends you home and you've got egg on your face like it was against Iceland, for example. You know, there's obviously reasons why Southgate was perhaps more pragmatic, and you can be less pragmatic in internationals, which are still effectively international friendlies. Let's not get carried away in terms of saying, but it's the Nations League and
they're friendlies with a tournament behind it, aren't they? Effectively, like a tournament format behind it. Yeah, I agree with that.
Absolutely. Question from Stuart here in the chat: which Ipswich player do you think is likely to get a full England cap first? I mean, I've got one straight away. I just wonder if we agree on the name. Who do you think?
Well, I thought when I'd done that Liverpool Groove pod, and he asked me about what players would stand out for Town this season, I said I expect to see Leif Davis playing as a left back for England at some point. You know, there's a question mark over whether he's been exposed a little bit defensively in the first few games. Again, I'll say that he's not just playing normal Premier League players; he's playing against Champions League players. In what was it, Savinho, Salah, Traore last week. He played for Barcelona, so the onus is on him a little bit now. Interesting, they played that Colwill, I think it is from Levi Colwill from Chelsea, who actually I think normally plays as centre half, but has played left back for Chelsea previously, and he played that role. So maybe we might still see. I hope Leif does get called up at some point. I think if you get that many assists in the Championship, and you can put a little run of form together. Remember, we've got internationals again in October and November. So if he can, if he can give himself cause to be picked, that'd be fantastic with some good performances. So I'd probably default to Leif. But then who were the centre backs yesterday were Gahey and Maguire. But
that's where I see it. I see Greaves for me. He's edged just in terms of England defensively aren't. They've often criticised by fans in the stands in terms of defensively. Is there an opportunity there for a left footer like Greaves to,
I think,
as you say, do what you just said with Davis, get some form up and edge himself into the squad. And we saw with Gahey, really, you get one opportunity, you take it, you play well, and then the shirt is yours. Because before the tournament, that was a big question mark, wasn't it? You know, will he be able to rise to the occasion? Defensively, we're a bit weak, we're a bit poor. And all of those different things. And Maguire's always criticised, whether you agree with it or whether you don't. And some of it I don't agree with. I think in a sense of what he gets criticised for, but he is always criticised. He's a lightning rod. It feels like Harry Maguire in terms of when things go wrong, it's always his fault, whether it is or it isn't.
Yeah, exactly. I think the World Cup, 2018? He could do no wrong. I mean, do you remember they kept scoring from corners and like?
Yeah,
he was always
routine
Yeah,
where they lined up behind each
that's
other.
right. Yeah, the train they called it or something, didn't they?
Good times.
Yeah, I mean that 6 years ago. But I suppose when you're at Manchester United and stuff, and you're not performing to the level they want you to, maybe your stock does go down. But certainly when he was at I don't know, Hull, Sheffield United, Leicester, he looked a really good player. But I'd love to see Greaves get a call up. I mean, why not? I mean, you're not playing the cream of the crop here, are you?
No.
You're playing secondary nations, really. So why not give them a chance? I mean, maybe Carsley will. I mean, the fact he comes from a youth background suggests that he might do. Give people an opportunity and see how they fare.
Yep. Michael Brown, Carsley picked 4 under 21 players for England that he coached in the England under 21 set, which makes sense because obviously managers always radiate back to players they know and trust and sort of fancy. So
it made me. Where do you stand on this national anthem thing? Because he said he won't go sing the national anthem, and this suddenly becomes a huge thing. If you don't want to sing the national anthem, so be it. I don't think Sven ever sang it. I mean, Carsley is Irish and he's in the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. So I mean, it's just ludicrous.
I agree.
What makes me laugh is you ask any of these people going, "Oh, well, you should be singing the national anthem." Can you sing the entire national anthem?
Yes.
There's like 2 or 3 verses afterwards. How well do English people actually know the national anthem? Probably just the first bit that you see on the telly. So I mean, it's just ludicrous.
I will sing the national anthem anytime it's played. Wherever I am, from in my front room and it's being played, and they're going down the lineup, I will sing to my little heart's content. But I don't see what the issue is here.
Yeah, I know.
Full stop. It speaks a little bit to what I don't know. I was thinking all Saturday morning, why is this even a talking point? Like, why are we talking? Why is this the talking point heading into
time filler, isn't it? Content filler.
No, I just think we're edging into a media now where anything to get a talking point, anything to get people on one side of the debate or the other angry or not, and it's a nothing point, absolute nothing point at all. And there are people that really matter of their opinion is the FA, who will decide in the interview process whether that's a big thing for them or not. I tend to think it probably wouldn't be a huge thing, judging by the Capello selections, the Venn selections, etc. He played for Ireland. He's Irish. He's in Ireland.
Yeah.
Why are people thinking he's going to stand there and suddenly burst his tonsils out singing "God Save the King"? What was it even a question for? Of course he wasn't going to. He didn't sing for Ireland, I don't think, did he?
I think he said that. Yeah, I don't think he sang it. I just
choir practice. It's a football match, right? If you don't want to sing, don't sing. Simple as that. We roll on. We move on.
Exactly. Yeah. But prerequisite of the job, is it?
Yeah. If you stand up to a choir practice and said, I can't sing this song or that song or this song, all right, well, perhaps choir's not for you, Lee. But it ain't a choir practice. It's a football match. Let's get on. Let's rock and roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
I can't understand it. Full stop. Really. Free to, it's free to do whatever he wants. It's what he does on the football field for me. That's
agreed. Yeah.
First and foremost, and last.
The first half performance was very good, and I think England should do it right over the between now and November when all the games are taking place. And I think Carsley will probably get the gig full time. Good
luck to him. Sean says he even sat on the Irish bench. Yeah, that was a little bit too far. Yeah,
he took the wrong way, didn't he?
Yeah, bless him. I mean, many have done that before. Many have done not in that stadium particularly, but many of those managers have done that, and it's always a funny thing to see a manager sit down and then get told, tap on the shoulder. You're over there, mate. Oh, sorry.
Well, the Irish gaffer is Icelandic, I think. So I don't know with John O'Shea as his second in command. So don't know if he sang the Irish anthem. Certainly, OGben did, singing his heart out. It's great to see.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, wasn't so long ago. You'd go through a lot of the team there, and they weren't singing, was it? I can remember.
It was like you. Yeah.
So yeah, non-issue.
A personal choice. I mean, look, you could be anti-royal family, not sing it. Various reasons why you might not.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think what you said a second ago is absolutely spot on. It sort of screamed to me a little bit of, this is what happens when you take football away from us. We've got nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
So we will have to find something.
Make something up.
And not even make it up, but take the real micro issue of what
cause some controversy for no reason, really.
Well, get you talking, I guess, like we are now. So it does its job in that regard, I guess. Talk about talking. I saw him before he came online. I say talking, it's a really bad segue, but Axel for on this day we signed. We confirmed his signing. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what I read.
Axel Twanzavy.
Twanzavy, thank you very much. I'm trying to remember what I read. As I'm saying it, I'm trying to think what I read. His signing was confirmed on this day.
Last year.
It's come a long way, hasn't he?
One night in Napoli. Now he's got Napoli player with him in the town squad.
How would you sort of assess his how it's gone? I think it's gone far and above anything we probably imagined it would do for him.
Yeah, it probably has. I mean, he's been under the radar a little bit, given how high, we talk about Maguire's stock and everything, how high his stock was at United. I mean, he was seen to be someone who'd probably go on and be in the heart of their defence for God knows how long and, be a bit of a United legend, I suppose. But, injuries come along and things change, don't they? Things shift and, he starts getting these loans, doesn't he? Where does he go? Villa he went to, didn't he? Did it Stoke for a bit? I can't remember now. Certainly goes out to Italy now. Now he tries to get a deal with Luton. Tries to get a deal with Luton, didn't happen, comes to us. He's not really played his true position with us, really, has he? I mean, he's been stuck on the right-hand side as the right back, but certainly he made his name as a centre-half at United. So, I mean, that's why he's probably a little bit under the radar, I suppose, but...
Bit of a hybrid role, though, isn't it? Right back, right to the back three, back four.
Can go to the three. Yeah, you're right.
I think it sort of suits him really well. And as I said, sort of leading in, it's gone far and above anything I could have expected from that signing. In fact, I remember.
Do you feel like it was just a kind of like, making weight kind of signing? He's just here just in case we need him. He's not got a great injury record. Let's see what. Yeah, because them kind of things have kind of like bitten us on the backside previously, haven't they? They just filter out into them getting released at the end of the season. But actually, to be fair, we did, like me, you and Rich did say, didn't we? It felt like maybe he would be released at the end of the season, but he got a run of games where he kind of.
And he's first choice now, and he's been phenomenal.
Because he wasn't that great against Leeds. Remember when we get absolutely obliterated?
Nobody was.
No.
Nobody was. That was.
We're talking about Leaf playing for England there. He was bloody abysmal when that game. Got on goal, didn't he? Gave away the penalty.
The whole team weren't at it that day for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But obviously the story works out well in the end. But I saw him coming before he came live, and I thought, that's A, time's gone quick, but B, as a signing, that's one of the under the radar ones, as you say, comes up absolutely. And he's had a few of those, to be fair, McKenna and Ashton. You say about player fitness, biting us on the backside. The two players that you've taken with gambles, I'd say, Massimo and Axel, they've both. Well, like if you've had all the bad luck in the previous generations of players that haven't been fit when they've arrived, and then they've never got fit, or you've signed them hoping, like Will Keane, for example, you've signed him. I hope he can, or Alan Judge recapture that form. That those injuries are behind them, then sadly they don't, or whatever. If all that bad luck, it's almost like these two. This is now the good luck. This is now the good karma coming back because two players that you would have thought, they're injury prone. They barely play minutes. Massimo's not played for Borough. Axel couldn't get a contract for whatever reason at Luton, etc., etc., etc. Couldn't be far wrong, could you? I mean, you couldn't be so wrong.
As supporters, I suppose we do jump to conclusions very quickly. I mean, we didn't we called Missimo for God knows how long, didn't we?
Well, he was missing, to be fair.
Months. It was months, wasn't it? I mean, he doesn't even appear until we played Burnley in the Cup that January. And now he's been pretty much a mainstay ever since. I mean, look, Will Keane is a really good example of someone who came through Man United.
Yeah.
And Marcus Rashford only got his chance because Will Keane got injured. He was someone that was seen to be, could go on and be a Hall of Famer for him, gets injured, gets released, blah, 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 comes to us. Wasn't that great particularly. Kept picking up little niggles, didn't he? Leaves us, goes Wigan, recaptures that form. What's he get, like 20 plus goals?
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. The amount of players that did that, and then you'd go elsewhere, or you'd sign them, like going way back now, Williams from West Ham when we signed him.
Oh, Gavin Williams, a
great player. Just couldn't stay
fit.
Him. I think he still stands as the only player Joe Rule spent money on was Gavin Williams.
Nominal fee. Did we pay nominal fee for Darren Curry?
No, I think that was a free from Brighton.
Was it free? Yeah.
If memory serves me correctly, and what a free that was! You could do.
I remember his debut. I was at that game at Loftus Road, QPR. We beat them 4-2, I think. Played in the orange and black kit. Shefki comes and does the big dive. I was right down near the front. You could see me on Anglia TV. Does the big dive in front of us. Brilliant.
Nice. You could do a whole Hall of Fame on our free transfers. We've had some
Yeah, I
really
think
good.
you're right, especially under Big Joe. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was a wheeler and dealer in you know in a really positive. He knew the market and he knew people,
Yeah.
and at a time when the club needed somebody with a contact book, a bit like yours, which we'll get to a bit later on in the show.
Yeah.
Joe was the guy, you know,
Yeah, he
and
was. Yeah.
such a great manager, such a gentleman as well.
What I
Loved
liked
him.
about Joe Rolls is that he was like pretty chilled. They called him Uncle Joe, I think. He was like a friendly uncle.
Golf cart.
Yeah, yeah. Like even like going back, I did quite a few away games under Royal. I went to Coventry again. I think we win that 4-2. We're 2 down at half time, getting obliterated, and then we score 4 second half goals. And I seem to recall he didn't sit in the dugout in the second half at Highfield Road. He sits on the ad boards next to the dugout. It was almost like he was at a Sunday game, like, you know, he's just come across it, just sort of props up against the ad boards. And we took him to town in that second half. So, I mean, he was brilliant. And we've said before, even under like the Paul Lambert stuff, I used to lament the fact that for football like Joe Roll, the 6-4 against Crewe, we kind of got it under McKenna now. Goals either end, right?
We come almost full circle, and obviously we can achieve what Big Joe tried his best to do, but could never get over the line, and that was promotion.
He deserved Premier League football for us, Joe. He did a fantastic job. Literally, what did he used to say? It was like juggling sawdust or something, trying to be the Ipswich manager.
And you couldn't write it, could you? One of the years we lose out is to Wigan with Paul Jewell in charge and obviously Ellington up front. Ellington comes to us a few years later on a free and doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Paul Jewell comes to us and you can put your own opinion and thoughts on his managerial reign at Town. But they're the ones that cost Big Joe. I mean, obviously that injury against Leicester for Cucci, saw Scowcroft sort of stop over in Ipswich after that and then sign on loan, sorry. And he wasn't really fit enough at that point, I don't feel. I think he'd been injured himself at Leicester.
Yeah,
serves me correctly, but he wasn't, you know, the Scully of the 2000 team, if you like. He's, you know,
the magic had gone, hadn't it?
Well, he wasn't match sharp. You know, he wasn't. And it took away from how we played, and obviously the rest is history. But here we are. Before we go into our second half and look at our transfer window, we've got a little thing. I haven't told Matt what we're doing with this. I'm just going to spring it on him. All right. People say, "Oh, you always give your contributors what to say." I don't barely give them anything, people at home. Honestly, Matt hasn't got a clue what's coming in the next 5 minutes. So it could go really, really well or really badly. But before we don't forget, if you dig in the content, and you must be, because you're still here with us 32 minutes in. So thank you very much. But hit the like button, subscribe, because you clearly dig in the content, and be wise in the autumn time. Go with SolarWise Roofing and Building Services Limited. I know, Matt. I know. It's good, isn't it? Be wise this autumn. Go with SolarWise Roofing. I know. I should win the team. Why am I not in a much better role than this? I miss my calling. I really did. I had that premonition, driving home yesterday. Oh, be wise. SolarWise. It works,
Moments of genius just come to you like that, don't they?
Just like that. Yeah.
Well, you're the podfather.
They soon leave me, by the way. They arrive as quick. They leave as quick as they have arrived. But be wise this autumn. Go with SolarWise Roofing and Building Services for your roof, solar panels, UPVC, groundwork services, all of that. You can get a roof check with them ahead of the winter. Obviously, could be important because no one wants to be sat under a leak. But call 01206 628 544. That's 01206 628 544. Be wise this autumn with SolarWise Roofing and Building Services Limited. I'm going to patent that. I'm going to trademark it. It's like,
nice.
Yeah, it's great. I'm good at. I'm really pleased with that, as you can probably tell. Like,
it might be long before SolarWise have got you on their board of directors. Get this guy internal. Yeah, absolutely. They can have it for free. Streaky's late to the show. It's all right, Streaky. Welcome in. Oh, he's watching the Tour of Britain cycle race. Great advert for the county. Great stuff. Stephen says, drum roll, waiting for Matt to panic. Oh, he's in a panic. And after we've finished, he'll moan at me for not letting him know what was going on. But I just thought, this would be quite fun, right? Because you've got a lot of transfers where we could sit and we could talk about every single one of them. Or because the NFL kicking off tonight, what we could do is we could do a draft, right? You've got to pick 3 players. It's a training session. It's 3v3. I want you to pick your best 3 players. I'll pick my best 3 players, but you can't pick a player that's already gone. So you'll kick us off because guests first always. So if you say, for example, from the new signings. So if you say Sammy Smodics, I can't say Sammy Smodics. I've got to bring somebody else. It's a draft. We'll go in a snake. So you, then me, then me, then you. So we both get fair crack
at who we want.
Like a tennis match, then we're hitting the ball over the net to each other here.
Absolutely,
Right.
yeah. Who's going to have the best three? That's what I want to know. We have
Right.
balance. We go for a defender, or we just go all out attack. I'm not going to choose a goalkeeper. I'll just tell you that now because only one of them. So you can have Muric if you like. I'll play rush goalkeepers. It's fine. Which with Muric is basically playing rush goalkeepers anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know. So we'll play rush on my side. But you can go first. Over to you. Who's your first pick? Round one, pick one.
I'm gonna go Smodics, me. Absolutely.
Sure.
27 goals to see the champ. I mean, look, traditionally we never used to get these players, did we?
No.
And then now we've got the money behind us to do so. But I just feel like, given that he's not a young player anymore, is he? He's not in the mold of an Amari, is he? Particularly, I mean, what is he? 28, 29, something of that nature. It just feels like we've got him at a really good time. Comes off the back of a really hot season with Blackburn that nearly get relegated. Shows you how good his attacking threat was. So I just hope we can see that replicated in across the season for Town. He's already scored at Manchester City. So I'd have him in my little five-a-side team. Yeah, absolutely, with his movement and pace and everything. Yes, Smodics first for me.
Okay, so my round one, I pick one. Team Lambert selects Jack Clarke. What a player. Everyone, I feel like the whole fan base wanted Jack Clarke across the summer. You saw Twitter threads about who Town should sign, and it always featured Jack Clarke, or it felt like it always featured Jack Clarke. I've waxed lyrical about Jack Clarke. You've waxed lyrical about Jack Clarke. This is, as you say, players that you don't notoriously get at Town. This is probably falls into that camp. But we got him for a great fee, which I think by the end of the season will look like an absolute steal. Yeah, and the only, and the two games we've seen him briefly against Fulham, and obviously the debacle against Wimbledon, but he looked good in that debacle.
We gave him man of the match, didn't we? In that
Absolutely, game. He was a real. You can see his quality stand out. And then against Fulham, he's got into some good, promising positions already. What on the pitch? 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Already worked himself into an opening where you've seen him in the Championship cut inside, bring himself inside, and unleash an effort that at least hits the target. Didn't hit the target against Fulham, but you saw what he could bring to the party. And I think, like Smodics, this is a player that's ready to step up, and he's a Town player. And I think he's a really technically sound, exciting player. So round one, pick one for my team is Jack Clarke. Round two, because I get the second pick, you see, because it's a snake order.
How does this work?
Well, you, then me, then me, then you. That's how it's called a snake
in the draft. Oh, right, okay.
You see? So because I had this second pick in my back pocket.
You better not be my pick.
I'm going to be picking pick one of round two. I'm going to go for OGben, because I absolutely love OGben. And I feel on either side, you've got some serious quality now. Clarke on the left, OGben on the right. We saw his quality, or people who watched the game did yesterday. We saw it in patches against Fulham, in large patches. But what you didn't see maybe off the ball is what I think will really excite us about OGben. And that's his movement that over time, Wolfenden and co will find, because they'll learn to play with him. They'll learn that he wants that ball in behind. But there was so many times Saturday against Fulham, he made the run and it didn't come. Those balls will start to come, and that's what we're going to love about him. He's an outlet behind the back line. He'll always look for it over the fullback shoulder. And he's a great player. Love him already. Only been here 10 minutes. Absolutely in love with him. So OGben for me.
Saw it yesterday against England. That's why they kept was probably man of the match. You kept seeing loads of the ball. Yeah, absolutely. To use that pace. Yeah, it's a good shout.
Who's yours?
Mine. I'm going to play in. I'm going to play in more of a defensive role, really, because he can pick up.
No. That's my last pick. That's my last pick. Yes. No.
Phillips picks Phillips. Had to happen. He's £45 million player. He's going straight into my team. Look, he, in a free feed free, he can be kind of like a bit of a Rolls Royce for you and pick a pass and just use that vision. I mean, Bielsa said when he came in at Leeds that nobody in that squad could pick a pass better than what Calvin Phillips can do. So I think that can only prove dividends for Ipswich moving forward. Remember, this is a guy who's lost all his confidence. He's not got a look in at Manchester City. Didn't work out for him at West Ham. I think it was 2021? Yeah, that Euros. He was England Player of the Year in 2021. That was 3 years ago. And he was nowhere near the squad yesterday. Maybe he. Well, we talk about who will get England picks. Maybe Calvin will get a look at at some point. Yeah, maybe Calvin will get an England pick. I mean, look, it's not out of the realms of possibility. like I say, 3 years ago, he was England Player of the Year. So look, hope, and as I said last week, if we can get Calvin Phillips back to the form or any kind of form that got him on the radar at Leeds, then that's going to prove massive dividends for Ipswich moving forward. So fingers crossed he can.
Absolutely.
Starting at Brighton next week.
Yeah. So you have chosen Schmodics and Phillips.
Yeah.
Your last pick then, sir.
My last pick.
I'm hoping my pick will now be there, because obviously if you've gone Phillips, you're not going to go.
I've got a feeling I know who you're going to pick. So I'm going to, because I've nicked one of yours, I'm going to go with, do you know what? I'm going to go with Darlow O'Shea.
Excellent. Okay. Why?
Because we know that he can, as Chris told us with Burnley, he had a good goal scoring record for Burnley last season and also assists. So I would go with him as a bit of a ball playing defender. Is what I'm thinking. I feel a little bit sorry for Dara at the moment because he gets straight into the Island team, but don't go straight into the Ipswich side, despite us paying 12 million quid for him. So he's going to have to probably just be a little bit patient there, I think. And as we said in the last show, there seems to be a partnership now forming between Wolfenden and Greaves, and I think that would be very difficult to break up moving forward. And this is injuries, of course, to players. God forbid that doesn't happen. But yeah, I'd pick Dara as my third choice.
Your team is Dara, Schmodics, and Phillips. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think on a human level, feel sorry for Dara, definitely. Because obviously, you want, he's arrived, as you say, and he's not gone straight into the team, and he's going to be desperate to get that blue shirt on and get Premier League.
Played games for Burnley last season. I mean, plays the majority of the games, I think, in the Premier League. Now he's moved back to the Premier League and hasn't started yet. So,
but as a fan, I think I love it because it's a testament to what we've got on the pitch already. It's the best place to be when you've signed someone for 12 million and they can't go straight into the team because the two players are just doing what you want them to do. They're forming that partnership. To use a Cook phrase, they're gelling as a team, the two of them, and they're working off each other. And that's the best place to be as a football fan, because it means you've got a quality player that the management have ID'd as somebody who's going to make us better that can't get in the team. So, you've got that's a fantastic place to be. And we haven't won a game yet, but I can hear the neutral sound. You've not won a game yet. No, but the 2 centre halves are not the reason we haven't won a game. No,
that's very true. Well, you could argue Man City maybe, but I mean, maybe
come on, man. Man City demolished West Ham. Although Kazakhstan 0-0 with Norway, by the way.
Oh, did Haaland play?
I believe he did.
They must have just marked the whole. Everyone was just on Haaland.
So I can't speak if it's 100% a factual statement, but I saw online that Kazakhstan, someone said Kazakhstan had drawn with Norway 0-0.
Yeah.
So we need to all be calling Kazakhstan up and asking for their tactical plans, because they clearly worked against Haaland.
Yeah, exactly. I think what the Darlow O'Shea signing does show that is that Wolfie can't afford to be in a comfort zone because you've got O'Shea there, and as we said earlier in the show, Twanzebe can fit into that slot as well. So I mean, if standards do slip or we are making mistakes or the form falls down below the standard that McKenna demands, other people will be there to step in. So I mean, it's healthy competition for places, isn't it? Effectively,
certainly is. David, who's been a member for 25 months. David, appreciate that support. Love it. Says, great show, guys. Thank you very much, David. Hope you're enjoying it. If you are enjoying it at home, hit the like button, get your comments in as I make my last pick for my three-man team to take on Matty's three-man team in the training session. I'm playing Rush goalkeepers, as is Matt, by the look of it, as well, without a goalkeeper. I'm going to go. Now, I could say Delap here, but I feel like we've talked about Delap every single week of the show for a very good reason. So, as a talking point, I feel we've done that to death. We know about Delap mode activated. He is an absolute asset to this football team. Huge asset. And he's going to be so much better, so good as the season progresses. So I'm not going to pick Delap. That's too easy. So instead, to go with OGben and Jack Clark, the linchpin of my team will be Cust. Because I'm really looking forward to seeing what he brings working under McKenna. We've heard from our Napoli friend who came on the show, who told us all about his ability. Brentford were after Cust. Brentford don't go in for anybody, by the way, folks. This is a club that's recruited so well to get to the place where they are now. So if Brentford are looking at him, money on the table, medicals being done, deal breaks down for whatever reason, this ain't anybody. This ain't just some midfield player. This is a player that has got everything that Brentford identified and everything that really the town model is now fast becoming. And McKenna likes those profile of midfield players in the same vein. We've seen minutes from him, not seen a lot of minutes. So I can't say, this is because I pick him because of this, that, and the other. I'm just excited to see what this player is going to be under McKenna in 6 months' time, 4 months' time. A manager notoriously known for getting the best out of people, making them better. And if he's already at that level, Brentford are interested. There's something there to unlock. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he brings.
In the little cameos that we've seen of him, he's certainly looks box to box, doesn't he? And brings that kind of energy. But he looked really good in the highlight reel, didn't he? That we watched before we had the Napoli guy come on. And we said, look, he looks like he can do it all. He seems like he's got a good tackle on him. It will go box to box. Certainly he can break away on a counter attack with the ball. And, they're probably attributes that Morsey and Luongo probably don't, in their sort of twilight of their career years, probably don't quite bring. And Cust is obviously younger than Jack Taylor, which I think is quite funny because I think we look at Taylor through these kind of the lens of, he's still a young player. But
we look at Jack Taylor the same way people, families look at their youngest child. Like they're always going to be like a young player. Always going to be young Jack Taylor. It could be it could be 50 as a pundit on Sky. It will be, look, there's Jack Taylor, young Jack Taylor. Like that's how I view him. You're right. I view Jack Taylor as this sort of 19-year-old prospect.
And that just goes to show you now the kind of the realm we've moved in, because you're looking at Taylor and going, is he a young player? Not particularly compared to Cust. And what's Cust doing? He's away playing for Sweden at 24, 25. Yeah. Younger than Jack. Do you know what I mean, it's up to Jack, isn't it, to try and get into that Ireland team. I mean, that should be a kind of a goal of his. I mean, he's staying with us now, so he's not gone on loan anywhere. So let's see what happens there. But yes, certainly Cust is suddenly, you get propelled into the Premier League. Suddenly you've got players that are younger than players that we think are young and are actually, they've played in multiple different countries. They've got X amount of caps and they're away on this international weekend. So hopefully that will be something that can inspire Taylor to try and, reclaim his own international aspirations, I would say, whilst Ipswich are a Premier League team.
Absolutely. And there we go. I mean, I think we've done all right for a mini pod, and in the sense of content to talk about. I think we've done a great show personally. I've got some comments coming in I was going to get to before we sort of round up. We have got a special announcements. Don't go anywhere just yet. David has kindly gifted one Talking Town membership. Thank you very much, David. If you're the lucky recipient of that membership, welcome. You can now get access to the Discord. David's generosity is absolutely brilliant. Also giving us €10. David, thank you so much.
He liked that yesterday, David. You got Sporting Ireland and you got 3 town players in there. Maybe more to come in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Generous as ever, says Sharon. And absolutely, David. So thank you ever so much. We've got a special show tomorrow, haven't we, Matt? Tell the people at home what is going on and who out of the contact book you've Rod Stewarted. This time you've dived in. Pulled out a name. We do.
It's not Rod Stewart, by the way, even though I'd love that.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Well, everyone enjoyed the Henry Winter special. So I was thinking, because we're now back on Match of the Day this season, Martin, and Match of the Day is 60 years old this season, which is great. Now Town are back on it. Why not have someone who's on Match of the Day? So I've gone out to the contact book and we're going to have one of their premier commentators on with us tomorrow, Steve Wilson, who commentated on Ipswich Liverpool at the start of the season. So it was at Portman Road. He's very much looking forward to coming on. He's going to give us an hour, 8 till 9. So I guess if you're on the Discord, Martin, we'll open up a chat and people can throw some questions in, I guess.
We certainly will, yeah. So if you're on the Discord, get yourself over to the tab that I'll create after this show, where you can put questions forward to Steve. If you're not on the Discord yet, you can get access by hitting the join button on YouTube and then clicking the link in the community tab. Or if you're that lucky person from David, you've now got access to it, so go and check that out. If you can't find it, martin@talkingtown.co.uk. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Fine, didn't you? The other week, was it the Spurs Everton game? Pickford come running out like Forrest Gump and carried on running.
Yes, absolutely great line. Yeah, it's one of those iconic voices of football commentary, and he's commentated on so many games, not just Ipswich Town games. Euros.
He's done Euros, World Cup. I mean, look, last week he did West Ham, Manchester City, interviewing Pep Guardiola. A week later, getting interviewed by us.
There you go. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. As I say, one of those iconic voices of football commentary, and I think even if you somehow, some way didn't know the name, the moment you close your eyes and hear the voice, you know it. It's one of those.
Yeah, exactly.
A bit like James Alexander-Gordon, who did the football results. If you don't know the name, you'll hear the voice and you go, I know who that is.
Yeah. Exactly.
Steve's one of those guys, and he's done so many top quality games, and his football knowledge is second to none. he's, as you say, interviewed Pep Guardiola. He's interviewed some of the top managers
Mm.
in the world, top games in the world.
Well, ask him. We'll kick off that one tomorrow. What was Pep like? See what he's like.
Well, I've got. He always strikes me as like someone who's a bit miffed to be talking to the media. Like it's part. Like it's one part which he just does not like. Like, well, do I have to?
It's Steve. See what he says. I mean, that does come to vibe. I mean, then again, though, they've done like lots of behind the scenes stuff. Like I say, I bought that City Plus thing. Their own town TV kind of thing, where he does loads of behind the scenes stuff and that. So he must enjoy doing that. But yes, on Match of the Day, it does seem like, oh right, do I have to do this? We'll ask Steve tomorrow. See what he says.
Yeah, sometimes it reminds me of my son because I say to Arthur, how was school today? Like, why are you asking that question for?
All kids are like that. Would you at school today?
Yeah, but what right have you got to ask that question? Like, sometimes you say a question to Pep and it's like, why have you asked that? It's just the way it is. Like, what a silly question. It's like, just answer it, Pep. Just
I'd say to my son, what have you had for lunch today? Can't remember. What the hell? It was only 2 hours ago.
Oh, it's like top level confidential information. It's like,
it is,
it's a great meme or GIF. Meme with Eddie Hearn. Frank's Eddie Hearn. Yes, Eddie Hearn, where he's talking and he says, it's private confidential information. Why have I got to tell you? And it's like the caption is asking your children what they did at school today. It's like it sums it up perfectly. But yes, tomorrow, Steve Wilson, 8 p.m. Looking forward to it. Get over to the Discord. Well done to Matt for again securing a top quality guest, because I mentioned the Lee Carsley debate earlier. Driving on the day out yesterday, who should come on BBC Radio 2 to discuss the Lee Carsley not singing debacle? Mr. Henry Winter.
Henry.
And I was like, Henry Winter. Been on Talking Town in the last 3 weeks. Now it's on BBC Radio 2.
Yep.
Levels. There's levels to it, I'm looking forward to it. Buzzing. And what great show. Thanks ever so much for joining us this afternoon. Really appreciated it. I say mini pod at the start of the show. It was a normal size pod. Always is.
Well, it's below an hour. I would say most of our shows are an hour these days plus, aren't they? Generally. So this could be classed in this new mini pod series that you've labelled.
That I came up with at 5 to 1. Like, as I come up the stairs, I thought, we should really just do these as mini pods and sort of hand it over and say, look, if anything you want to talk about. I say that because there's somebody at church this morning who spoke to me about an issue they got with the football club. And I was like, there probably is issues that people want to talk about. So we should give the spotlight and the platform to do that. So
talking of which, the skybox is on top of the thing, isn't it? I think Lewis put it in our Discord, or we'd been sent it or something. I think if you'd been in the Planet Blue shop, you could see it. I think it's up there now. Or certainly the scaffolding in the frame of it is, so be ready for when. Well, we ain't even back at Pullman Road to the end of September.
3 weeks today, isn't it?
Really game, isn't it?
3 weeks today, isn't it?
This is a Sunday. Yeah.
Sunday. Yeah. It's a Talking Town on the Monday that night, that week. But
trains running.
Welcome to the big. If you're Borough Council, I discuss here whether they put ticket prices up to 15 quid in the car park. That's outrageous.
The country's so expensive. Do you know what I mean?
I don't get political, but I'm going to get political for a minute. That's outrageous. I'll tell you why it's outrageous, right? It's a lot of money. Have they seen the state of their car park outside Portman Road? I'd hardly call it a car park. It's more of a hole with white lines that have been painted on it. Like,
is that so? That's the car park they're talking about. So what would you pay? What would you pay at the moment? £5?
Got no idea. I just tapped the card.
That's London prices, isn't it? Like, there's people at our boxing gym will go and watch Arsenal, Spurs, and everything. They pay like 20, 25 quid just to park their car to get, so they're close to the stadium to get up there. I mean, that's not far off, is it? 15 quid at Portman Road, for crying out loud.
Put it up by £1 is far too much. Like, the car park's got huge issues in the sense of holes, like, and you can't get out of it for love or money. It'll soon be a swimming pool. They shut it. Yeah. It's just like, it's ridiculous. It's outrageous.
There's only one thing you can do, Martin. You have to email Ipswich Town Council.
Yeah, I just think it's outrageous. It's outrageous. And they've shut off Portman Road, so you can't even come out of the car park, turn left, and get away that way. No. It's outrageous. How dare you? Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Or re-tarmac the car park. There's an idea.
Do the supporters coaches come through Stowmarket when they come down from Bury St Edmunds or somewhere? You could start doing that.
I don't know. I don't know where they go. But if they made some improvements, like opened up the access to it from the main road, actually put a surface down that just wasn't a hole with white lines, and gave you something for your £15, yeah, fine, I'd pay £15 an hour, or £15, well, not an hour, but £15, whatever it is. But at the moment, you drive in, your car goes boom, comes up the other side without a wheel, or boom, comes up the other side without an engine. Like it's a ridiculous surface, honestly. Anyway, you're on the soapbox now. It's really, I've sat on that for a week.
It's fuming.
I am fuming because I don't mind paying more, but let's get the service for it. But anyway, we're done for the day. There we go. You've had it all. You've had the whole shaboodle this afternoon. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you have. Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. for Steve Wilson. He has been the one, the only Matthew Phillips. I have been angry for the last 5 minutes, it would appear. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Thanks. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Have a great Sunday. The Bears.
Crazy from just the thought of you.